Well, um, more War Thunder? You want to do more? Yes, I do. I do this. Why? Why do you want to do more? Did you not have enough of getting shot down by Russian biplanes in the last one? No, no, because I want to do higher things. I like what? Well, that's why I'm undecided about. I don't know whether to go German or Russian. Not Russian, British. Do not mention the Russian planes here. We do not do Russian planes here. Actually, I have an idea. The Romanian stuff. The Romanian stuff. What do you guys have on the Romanian stuff here in War Thunder? Well, to be honest, they don't have enough. I don't think. I mean, it would be nice to see some more. Like, the British have got the French, and the Germans have got the Romanian, because the Romanians mostly used the German stuff, didn't they? Didn't they? Yeah, they used, what was it? The Henschel, the HE112, they had the 109, they had two models of the 109, wasn't it? I think it was like the D and the G, wasn't it? The D and G versions or something like that. I know it was definitely a G because there's a G2 in War Thunder here that's got the Romanian crosses. What are they actually known as? The Romanian roundels, aren't they? Although it's sort of like a cross plus a roundel. But yes, anyway, yes. Continue on. They did use the 109s. What else was it? So, I think I saw the one was didn't you have a JU88 and then you also had a 110? I think that was what I mostly used. And then they also used Hurricanes as well, didn't they? Yeah, I did look at. I think I did mention when I first did the Romanian lineup. I had a look on Wikipedia afterwards, and I saw that it was mostly German stuff, but it was also like I remember the Hurricanes were there, and I do have the SM79B that's already here in Romanian colours, but yeah, they also had the JU88, the 110, you know, the Henschel. Let's talk about the Henschel actually, because there's not really much we can talk about in Romania. So, but let's talk about the Henschel because people don't really like the Henschel in War Thunder. It's because wasn't it when the Henschel? Well, not when the Henschel was introduced, but it was like looking at the Henschel. It was like people were complaining about how it was completely out of proportion or something like that. It was like people were complaining about how it wasn't handling correctly, and yeah, I can't remember what it was, but people were just complaining about everything. About it was setting on fire as soon as anything looked in its general direction. Yeah, all of these things, and I've just realised I'm in a JU88 and I shouldn't be going down to fighter level. I'm going to stay up here and bomb stuff. It probably is the best thing as well. What is your Romanian lineup? It has like rank 3 vehicles, doesn't it? Rank 3 aircraft. Yeah. And the worst thing about it is that this is airfield domination as well, so it's oh crap, I just realised that I'm bombing from high altitude with 50 kilogram bombs. I'm not going to hit anything. I am useless at hitting anything moving from altitude. It's a very lost skill. Well, it's not actually a lost skill because they still use bombers, don't they? But it's like it's a lost art for when you're actually playing video games. Because video games, nobody really cares about what happens to your aircraft. All that you know is that you'll get shot down and then it'll appear in your garage if you leave the battle. It's this magical thing that happens. It's just it's a very unique skill. Shall we? It's like rocket jumping in TF2. It's a very thing that you have to learn to do. It's not something that you'll just get overnight. It's something you have to actually be trained for, if you like. I think it's very much if you were to like look up a video perhaps on YouTube, asking over seeing how to drop bombs from altitude on moving vehicles, I'm sure that it would probably give a very detailed thing about it. But if you really want to drop bombs on stuff moving from altitude, you really have to use the things that is given to you. Yeah, and it would actually be easier if these were larger caliber bombs, but no, my Ju-88 can only carry 28 50-kilogram bombs, so it's... I'm not actually... I would probably get more points if I was to go down and bomb them from ground level. Yeah, the thing about it is that, yeah, my bombs are way off target. They explode behind the column of tanks, and yeah, I'm going down. I have 10 50-kilogram bombs left. I'm just gonna go down here and dive bomb. Why not? Yeah, if you can bomb from from heights, then wunderbar, good for you. But if you can't, then yeah, I would say just go down there and brave the fighters that are down there, and just go and bomb stuff that way. I mean, it'd probably be a lot easier for you. There you go. Dive bombing, I managed to get 2 AAAs. I mean, that's pretty good. Oh, and the Lancaster. Now, anyway, what were we talking about? The Henge School. Yeah, many people don't like the Henge School. Have we... Oh, yeah, we keep getting sidetracked when we talk about stuff, don't we? We keep talking about other stuff. Or you come in with some gameplay-related stuff, which I'm sure that everyone already knows as to what's going on anyway, because they're already going to be looking at you from your perspective. But alright, now anyway, the Henge School. Yeah, what are your general thoughts on the Henge School? You know, do you like the Henge School? I mean, I quite like flying it. I mean, it's very much, yeah, with the 30mm cannon, it makes a marvelous anti-air aircraft. It makes a wonderful fighter. But yeah, people just don't like the Henge School. I mean, yes, it may not be the nicest looking aircraft ever, but primarily combat aircraft are designed to actually work in combat. They're not designed to look pretty. They're designed to get the job done. I mean, damn it, I just had my pilot knocked down from a firebrand. Oh, and there's apparently a Czechoslovakian one as well. But yeah, Henge School isn't the nicest looking thing, and yeah, sure, I can understand that, but it's... Yeah, if it works as an aircraft, as a combat aircraft, do you really want to complain about how it looks? I mean, if you can get plenty of kills in it, and you know, just if you can easily shoot stuff down with your two hands tied behind your black and blindfold on, are you really going to be complaining about how it looks? I mean, what other planes can we think of that are perhaps not the nicest looking thing? I'm sure plenty of the Russian things aren't the best looking things. I mean, look at the T-34. I mean, it gets the job done, but it's yeah, of course, it's going to be a very iconic thing to look at, but it's not the nicest looking thing. It's all slopes everywhere, and it's got a funny gun with the L11. I mean, it's a very odd looking thing. I mean, the Panzer IV is perhaps not the nicest thing to look at, but it's probably a darn sight better than the T-34. Now, you think that, but then the Churchill. People like looking at the Churchill, but they go, oh, the Churchill was amazing, it has really thick armor, and it was able to soak up shots from everything. But then, really, it's a very boxy thing. It's like, you could probably easily get, 2 boxes and recreate something for yourself, like in a small scale. I mean, it's not a very nice thing to look at. The designers obviously didn't design it for looks. They designed it to have thick armor and, an infantry supporting gun. I mean, yeah, it's not a particularly... It's iconic, again, like you said, with the T-34, but it's perhaps not the nicest thing to look at. But, I mean, KV-1, take KV-1 for example. KV-1 is perhaps not the nicest thing to look at. It is also very boxy, but it got job done. It had thick armor, like you said. This is basically a Russian equivalent of Churchill. It is very boxy. It is a very boxy turret. I mean, the later turret is perhaps not the nicest thing. It has the weird curvy thing going on at the back of the turret. But, I mean, though it is not the nicest thing to look at, but once again, like you keep illustrating with all of your other points, it gets the job done. Yeah, I agree with what the Russian is saying. I mean, the tanks that we are listing are the ones that everyone knows, but they're perhaps not the nicest thing. I mean, the Tiger is, again, an iconic thing, and it looks quite nice, but, I mean, the Cromwell is also a pretty nice looking thing. I mean, I'm sure you will agree. What are these guys doing? Sorry, I'm trying to fight for dominance over an airfield. I'm in my J2, but it's like people keep flying into me. I've had 2 people fly head to head on me. It's, I don't know. Yeah, carry on. What was it? We were talking about what was? We were talking about the Tiger and the Conval and how they are perhaps more visually appealing compared to the things that we have listed, like the KV-1s, the T-34, the Churchills, the Panzer IV. I mean, the Hetzer is a quite nice looking tank destroyer, I would say. It's quite a small, cute thing, isn't it? It is cute but deadly. That is the thing to remember. It is cute but yet also deadly. Yeah, it's cute but deadly thing. What else? Stuart? No. I mean, the Stuart. I'm sure people like the look of the Stuart. I don't particularly like the look of the Stuart. Well, I mean, it is again. It's one of these things that was okay looking, but it's not perhaps the thing that you would want to cuddle up tonight, cuddle up in bed with. It's not perhaps not that. But yeah, what else? I'm thinking the Panzer II. I know you like the Panzer II. Yeah, I like the Panzer II. Once again, it's not like the nicest looking thing, but I like the look of it. Nice, but I suppose it's all a matter of personal opinion, isn't it? As to what you like. It depends on what is visually appealing to you. A Sherman isn't perhaps not the nicest looking thing, but people do obviously like the Sherman. And there's always the myth surrounding it that it will violently burst into flame and has like paper thin armor, but I mean, it got the job done, and I heard that it's not the worst thing to use. It actually had pretty decent armor for when it was first introduced, but it's just got all the myths surrounding it, and so it's sort of what else? T-26. That is small tank, but it is perhaps not the nicest thing to look at. Let me just go through the tech tree here. Let me just read down some of the tech tree for you. We got T-28 is not a very nice looking thing. Nine, do not talk to me about the T-20. The T-50 is on that tech tree, yeah? Yeah, the T-50 is on the tech tree. World of Tanks, people like T-50-2. Yeah, I think they prefer the T-50-2 for how fast it actually was. I'm not too sure as to how it looks. How would you describe it, guys? It's a rather sloped thing, isn't it? It sort of has a funny turret as well. It's sort of like, it's hard to describe as to what it is. It's sort of like a mini T-34. I'm thinking that's the only way that I can describe it. Yeah, looking at it here, yeah, it's a pretty sloped front with sloping all around the sides, and a pretty sloping turret like the T-34. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, I'm sure people will like the look of the T-50, but I don't particularly like it. Su-85, that is iconic thing. That is fairly nice looking. They could have done worse. Yeah, they could have done worse, I suppose. Yeah, they could have done. Land Battleship, that is fun thing to use. I love Land Battleship, it looks awesome. Yep, I agree with you, it looks awesome. Yeah, it may look awesome, but once again, is it useful in combat? Well, yeah, here in War Thunder, it's pretty fun, but perhaps not the best in combat. No, it is after all a pre-war design, isn't it? Let's quickly think about it. IS-2. Do not get me started on the IS-2s. Those things are annoying as hell to take down in War Thunder, aren't they? It's like people just shoot at the turret. I'm sure that you'll shoot at the turret all the time, but really it's just an IS-1 with a different turret and a bigger gun. I mean, the hull armor particularly stays the same. I mean, it's not anything complicated, but yet for some reason it's just because it's an IS-2, people think that the armor's been up armored. One thing that I don't like is the look of the Panzer IIIs. That's the thing that I don't like. Panzer IIIs to me are like, ugh. The Panzer III is like smaller Panzer IV, but not as nice looking. It's not the best looking tank, I'll give you that. what else? You got Tiger 2, Mouse. The thing with the mouse is it's like your example of the Churchill. It's a very boxy thing. You'll probably make it with 2 shoeboxes. Yeah, it's not. It's very boxy, but people obviously know it because it's the mouse. But sure that it's not particularly that good. The Stugs. There's the thing about the Stugs. I mean, people like going to company affairs here because the company affairs uses the Stug 4 as the basic tank destroyer, but yet the company affairs 2 uses the Stug 3, and so people were like, "Oh, the Stug 3 looks amazing in company affairs 2, but why couldn't they have done that in company affairs 1?" But then you've got to remember that company affairs 1 is an older game, and B, it uses the Stug 4 model rather than the Stug 3, and the Stug 4 was, let's say, it's not as good looking as the Stug 3. War Thunder doesn't actually have a Stug 4. It just uses Stug 3s because I'm thinking that they're pretty much the same. What else? What's in the Americans? We could wait until the British introduce. I would like to see what they introduce for the British. I'd like to see how big they can get that tech tree. The Chaffee. People on World of Tanks quite like the look of the Chaffee. They think that it's cuter than the Lutch, but Jingles disagrees. But I'll tell you one thing: the M3 Lee. Oh my God, the M3 Lee. Did you really just bring up M3 Lee? A coffin for 7 brothers is what Russians referred to it in the Lend-Lease. I believe they did, yes. The Russians really did not like the M3 Lee, did they? They did not like the M3 Lee at all. It was not. I mean, in War Thunder, it is pretty strong tank, strong frontal armor. With multiple gun, with 75mm howitzer can deal with the tanks that he goes up against in War Thunder, but in real life it was going up against Tiger and Panzer IV. It was not doing so well. So apparently it must have had pretty high death ratio for the crew in Soviet Russia. So it was not the most popular tank on market. I will say that. People in World of Tanks just hate that. Just hate the Lee. Yeah, it's only because it doesn't have some. It's only because it's a big top tired. That's the thing. In the desert, the British quite liked it, but that's because they could use both guns. In World of Tanks, it's nine. They did not. In World of Tanks, it's just a big thing that shows up your tank. You can't actually use it, so it's more like So you have to play it more like a tank destroyer, but yet it's classed as a medium tank. So people don't particularly like it. You know what else we can talk about? 9, what is that? Calliope and rocket tanks in War Thunder. Ah, my God, really, the Calliope. Where to start with it? Does anyone want to start? No, yet not me. I would not like to start. No, I'm good. You go on. You sure? Aye, I'm sure. I don't even want to start it. And he started off the conversation, so you continue about it. Well, the thing about it is that it costs almost 10,000 golden eagles. I mean, no premium vehicle. You could buy a rank 5 premium vehicle for less money, for less golden eagles, but yet for some reason they decided, well, it is basically a Sherman with some rockets on top. Let's just boost up the price by tenfold and then just sell it to people like that. And really, it is a Sherman with just some rockets on, some highly, well, I think when it was first introduced, weren't people complaining about the penetration? The penetration was all over the place. It could like one-shot a Tiger II from the front, and the shots that actually hit the rockets didn't actually do anything. They didn't explode, which is what people would expect them to do. Because after all, you're basically just driving around with a massive ammo rack on the top of your Sherman saying, "Shoot me." I mean, that in and of itself is perhaps not the best thing to be doing, but I'm sure that yeah, now they're adding in more. They're adding in more rocket things, and once again, the Germans are only getting a Panzerwerfer. The Americans are getting another vehicle. They're getting a Pershing this time. No, it's not even a Pershing, is it? What is it? Is it a Pershing? I think it's a Pershing. It's either a Pershing or a something else. or I want to say a pattern, but it's not a pattern. I think it might be a Pershing. Yeah, I think it is a Pershing. It's basically a Pershing with 8 rockets strapped to the side of the turret, isn't it? Yeah, and so people were saying, "Oh, look, it's another rocket vehicle for America. It's and it's a Pershing as well, so it'll have the big gun which can also fire, and it has rockets. So it's basically just a better version of the Pershings that people can buy for Golden Eagles." Then, once again, only the Amarak is only going to explode when it is in a simulator or realistic battles. Which is something that people complain about with the Sherman, and also, you get to use the main gun as well. I mean, Company of Heroes balanced out the Sherman with the Calliope by removing the main gun and fitting a dummy barrel, which I thought was perfectly fine. It means that you can't just have it go forwards with people and just support the advance as a regular Sherman and save you having to actually build the tank depot in order to actually get yourself a Sherman. But War Thunder, you actually get to use the main gun, so really people are just going to go around shooting at stuff with the main gun and then just having the rockets as an added bonus. I mean, that's going to be the same as the Pershing. People are going to be like, "Oh, nice, there's going to be lots more Pershings about, and this time they'll have rockets on top of them, and it'll be game-breaking," and people are going, "Oh, there's the Katushka," and then other people, anybody that mentions, "Oh, there's the German stuff," everybody just goes, "Oh, they're fanboys of the Luftwaffe, oh no, look at them, another person complaining about the Luftwaffe." Then that's because every single patch that's been happening, Russia has got about 10 new vehicles, America's been getting something, maybe even Britain, but then Britain, look at the last patch, okay? What did Britain get new? Not Britain, sorry, we're talking about Germany here, aren't we? Look at what the Germans got last patch. Okay, they got Dornier, okay? They got what is effectively a reserve bomber. What else? They got the Neighborfeld or something. I think that was new in the pack. And then, I don't know, there was perhaps one other thing. What did the Russians get? Oh, T-34-100, they got box tanks, they got, what else? They got, a new IS-2, I think it was something that they got a new T-34-85, they got a new, oh look, they're getting a new version of the MiG, oh, isn't that a surprise? Everybody needs more MiGs, because there's totally not enough of them in the game already. It's like, so anybody that mentions the planes that they've been bugging Gaijin to put into the game for 3 years, everybody just goes, "Oh look, a fanboy for Luftwaffe, oh look at him, oh he's probably a Nazi," all of this. But then really, they're actually bringing up a very valid point. I mean, the Germans really do get left out of War Thunder. And I know there's this whole thing of Russian bias because it's a Russian game and Gaijin is Russian, but really, the Germans are left out. It's like everybody portrays them as the bad guys, when really it was just a handful of people it was only the handful out of the whole of Germany that were Nazis, and that is what got that is what got the Germans the reputation of being all Nazis. I mean, it was all the SS, really. That's what got it. I mean, the whole SS fanatic, so everybody used this as propaganda by saying, "Oh look, all of the Germans are Nazis," and so they're all Nazis, or we must portray them as the bad guys because obviously no allies have ever done anything like that. But really, the allies probably did do some war crimes. I mean, it may not be as big as 6 million Jews, but sure, they've certainly done some war crimes, I'm sure. I mean, the Russians were a big thing, aren't they? They were big on the what is it that the campaign of Company of Heroes 2 has? It's like Order something or other. Order 227, that's it. Which is that if you call off a conscript squad, any squads that you retreat back to your HQ is executed by the commissar there. And that is really what happens. They killed lots of their own men compared to those that died in battle, and probably that is a big thing in and of itself, but nobody takes any notice of that because they were too busy blaming the Germans for everything. I mean, it's everybody just portrays the Germans as the bad guys, and it's like nobody gives them anything good. I mean, and that is the thing. But anyway, what were we talking about? I believe we were talking about rockets. But yeah, you did make a valid point there, that everybody, me personally, whenever anybody goes, "Oh, whenever anybody refers to Germans as Nazis, I always try and point out to them that no, it's the few of the Germans that were the fanatics were the Nazis. All the others were just all the soldiers were just following orders. I mean, and if they didn't obey the orders, then they too would probably be shot for cowardice as well, or killed for being an enemy of the Reich and not following Hitler's beliefs or whatever. And so yeah, that's really a thing that should happen. People should point out that no, it's not all Germans are Nazis. It's just a few Germans are Nazis. It's that thing. And my engine is overheating. Bringing you back to what's happening. No, I apparently killed an aircraft. I apparently killed a Fury. Oh, that was random. And my engine's overheating. I've used up almost 4 belts of my 50 caliber Breda machine gun ammo. And I've shot down what, 1 plane? 2 planes apparently. I've died. I haven't actually died yet, I don't think. Have I? I can't remember. No, I haven't. It was you were distracting me with your talking of rockets and German planes. What was the plane that people wanted? I can't quite remember. It was like a... I don't know. I do actually have some planes I would like to see for the Germans. Well, actually some planes in general. The seaplane Spitfire, that would be a fun thing to have. Also, what was it? The float plane, or rather the... why did I expend my ammunition? I had a beautiful lineup on that KO-21. There's like a 3-engined German float plane. Well, flying boat rather. I can't remember what it is. It's either like Dornier or I don't know. It's either Dornier or something else. I can't quite remember what it is. But it was like that was a thing that they had. That would be a nice thing to have. Also, the Bolt and Pull Defiant, that would be a pretty good, like, rank 1, maybe even reserve, perhaps, plane. Because it's effectively a Hurricane with just a quad turret on it with, like, 30 caliber machine guns. And we all know how useless those are we all know how useless those are in War Thunder. So that would be a pretty cool thing to have. I'm also trying to think of new Hurricanes as well to put in, but... really, most of the Hurricanes I can think of have been put in. I mean, the thing that also really annoyed me in the new patch is that the Russians got a premium Hurricane. Though we got premium Hurricane. I'm not too sure why as well. We were doing perfectly fine with all of our MiGs and Yaks coming out of our ears, but for some reason we then had to get a Hurricane too. I mean, I am quietly baffled, but as to why Gaijin decided to implement this, but what it is I'm sure that they probably could have put in a new Hurricane for the British lineup. I'm sure you probably would have liked that for your Hurricane lineup, but as to why Russia needed premium Hurricane, it has... And the thing about it is, it's probably more heavier armed than anything the British have, other than the Hurricane Mark 1C that is currently in the game, because the Russian Hurricane has got 220mm and 212.7s. I mean, that is pretty good for a Hurricane. I mean, after all, Hurricane is known for, being able to take large sustained amount of damage and also keep flying, and for being slower than its enemy, so it can easily, keep behind their tail in order to shoot them. So it seems like giving the Russians a premium Hurricane that has got 220mm and 212.7 seems like it seems like a why Gaijin move. It makes no sense. Yeah, I think the thing is the Russian gets everything in War Thunder. I mean, they get everything. They have literally got a wall of premium vehicles that they can have. They have like a wall of premium aircrafts that they can have, and also they have a pretty large filled-out tech tree that is just chock full of MiGs and Yaks. That is like the only thing they have. MiGs and Yaks. That is all you'll see. If you were to fly around in, say, an arcade rank, perhaps 2, maybe 3 air battle, and it was all Russians on one side, and mixture of nations on the other side, all you would see is MiGs and Jacks. That is all you would see. There would be nothing new. That is all you would see. It would just be, oh, what is that on my tail? Oh, look, another MiG. What is that? Oh, another Yak. Oh, how innovative and you know, amazing that is. Oh, look, I mean, they're getting what? Basically a bomber version of the Yak. So that is effectively, it's either a Yak or a MiG. I mean, who really cares? It's a Russian aircraft. But it's like they're getting a fighter bomber version. It's like, why? It's like behind the pilot is the bombs. I mean, who thought of that as a good idea? It carries 8 bombs, and it is a fighter. That is like completely overkill. I mean, as soon as that gets introduced, I'm sure that everybody playing will just play in those. It would just basically get rid of the whole need for bombers. Everybody would just go as those MiGs. I mean, there would be no reason. I mean, it's. I don't know anymore. It's. I don't know. What are you doing anyway? Going back to the game of War Thunder. I'm fruitlessly shooting at pillboxes with 50s. I have no idea why. There's no planes to shoot down near me. There's one guy in a Blenheim on the enemy team that's left flying. That's it. And I have no idea where he is. So really, I'm just going around rattling 50 caliber shots off of pillboxes for some reason. I like pillboxes. I mean, the thing is, I'm also playing the Italians as well. So it's the Italian lineup made out of Fiats and two CR42s. And what do I have? A G50, an MC2, an MC200 Series 3, an MC200 Series 7, G50 Series 2, MC202, and two CR42s. None of which carry bombs. The only thing that carries bombs is the G50 series, and that carries like 250 kilograms. I don't know. And I've flown over the base. I was going to see if I could strafe kill this base because it's on pretty low health. It'd be awesome if I could, but I doubt it's going to do anything. I'm just bouncing off hangers, really. There's the Blenheim. He's 8 kilometers away. Also, going back to what it was like last episode, that you were talking about the British guns and how they like overheat in 5 seconds on the biplanes, and I think that is true. Yeah, why is that? Because think about it. I do notice that the British biplanes, their Vickers Ks, do overheat very, very quickly, whereas these 50 caliber guns on these Italian planes, you can fire them for, I don't know, you could probably fire them for a year and they wouldn't overheat, but for some reason, and they're a bigger caliber gun as well, so it's like surely they would overheat quicker because they're bigger rounds, but I don't know, it's like they hardly overheat. Oh, the Blenheim's just been killed. But yeah, these Italian planes, their 50s can fire for ages and not have anything happen to them, but it's for some reason the Vickers Ks on the British biplanes, no, they overheat all the time. I mean, I don't know. It's a thing, and I have no idea why it's a thing, but apparently it is. So I don't know whether that was a property of the biplanes machine guns in real life, or whether it was just the high quality of Italian engineered machine guns, but apparently it's a thing. And I'm just waiting to see the results. You won, yeah? Yeah, we won. I killed 3 ground units and 2 aircraft, and I came 7th in my team. Oh, and I got a medal! Got a medal? Why on earth would they award you a medal? That was useless, that wasn't... Oh! And I researched the BF-110E3. Sorry, 109E3. Yeah, I was going to say, they introduced new 110. What? No, I accidentally rounded it up 1 rather than said 109. I suppose I'll order that because I've been waiting for that for a while, and I also had a skin for that. Let's do that, finish. Now, what should I research? What should I research, guys? Because I've got the F series now that I can research, but then I've also got a B1, ME109 that. Yeah, the 109B1 has 2 MG17s, and it's rank 2. I don't know, why would anyone want that? That's the same as a biplane. I mean, the rank 1.3 CL42s have better armament than the BF109. They're not fast. They're not faster than the BF109 is a lot faster, but it's yeah. But anyway, so I've researched the two Focke-Wulfs 190s. I've researched them. I've researched the two E series 109s. I've got the F series to do, or I can go Dornier 217J2, or I can go Stuka with two 37mm cannons. And yes, or I can go that, or a Heinkel HE1, or a Heinkel 111 H6, which leads on to the Condor. I mean, I'm thinking HE111, but I really want to get my Stuka lineup done, just to have all the Stukas in a lineup, because then that leads on to the Henschel. In fact, I can actually research the Henschels, but and it's either that or the Dornier. Because see, I got the Dornier because I looked at it and then I was like, wow, 420mm for 7.92 machine guns. Oh, that thing's gonna rip through everything. But then it handles atrociously. It is one of the worst handling planes I think I have ever played. It is really horrible. You think about it, you look at it, and then you're like, oh, it looks amazing. It's a twin-engined heavy fighter that has lots and lots of guns. It will rip apart everything so it gets in its way. The only problem with that is actually getting something in its way, because that's never going to happen, because it is horrible to handle. Especially if you're playing a stock, which I'm guessing you are. Yeah, I'm going to research the HE111, by the way. Yeah, I'm thinking that get onto the Condor. Oh, and I can research some stuff for the MC200 Series 3. I'll get the new 12mm. And then the wing repair. There you go, right. So what was this medal for? Let me just check this. Medal for combat service. Players defeated 50. Game mode battles against other players. Okay, that's apparently a new medal, because I'm sure I've killed more than 50 people over the lifetime of me playing this. I'm sure you have, it's probably a new medal. Right, well, I think we're out of time, and we've also run out of stuff to talk about again. Though we have run out of stuff to talk about. We had nice rant about War Thunder and stuff like that, but yeah, we have run out of stuff to talk about. So I will say it for you. Thank you. I will say it. Thank you everyone for watching, and goodbye. How was that? It will suffice, I suppose. Duh. Okay, well, I'll thank you for watching, and goodbye.